If your church is not already signed up, the first thing that you can do is go to your pastor, tell him that you feel convicted, that you want to be involved in this ministry, get his approval, and then you can go to endabortionnow.com and you can get signed up. They'll provide you with free resources to get started. You can connect with people locally here in the area. I have some study materials that I can give you to look at that if you're interested, I can send those to you. And if you get signed up through End Abortion Now, they have tons of video content. Do the research. Research your local abortion centers in the area. Speak to those who are already going and talk to them about it. Find out where the property lines start and end, the noise ordinance laws in your area, where the sidewalk, what the signage is, and there's people here who already know that. So don't worry about figuring it out. There's some people here who already know that I can connect you with. Put together pamphlets. I know a lot of people here already have put together pamphlets, resources to hand to people as they're going in and out. We also have some things that we can give to you. Find out about the local pro-life pregnancy centers that you can get a list together of and send people to. Be careful about the pro-life centers that you can send people to, because many of them will say that they're pro-life centers, but when people come in and talk to them, one of the options that they'll give them is to have an abortion. So be careful. Do the research. Be prepared to do life with people. Be prepared to help them. Do life and walk through life with them. For those of you who are already involved, understand how to deal with law enforcement. There's some pamphlets and paperwork that I can email you that will help you with this. Have a GoPro or a camera with you on and filming to protect yourself. Sometimes things happen, guys, and we need to protect ourselves. It's important. It's important. People will say all the time, they'll accuse us that we did something. We need to have recordings to protect ourselves. Don't go out alone. You speak to your church about this, but I know that our church, our ministry doesn't recommend that you go out alone. Don't just sign up anyone for your group online. So if you have a private group online where you're messaging people back and forth, don't just let anybody sign up and join your group, because there are people out there who will join your group and they will try to find out where and when you're going, and they'll coordinate with the abortion clinic, and they will change their times, or they'll send people out to heckle you or to give you issues. So be careful. I recommend, and this is for people who are already going, just some tips. Have one person always preaching and another person designated to handle those who come up and want to distract you from preaching. So you have somebody designated to preach, and if there's somebody coming up to talk to you or heckle you or something, you have another person there to deal with them so the preaching of the gospel can continue. We had this issue the other day. Hecklers will come up. Planned Parenthood supporters will actually call them to come and give you problems. They're just a distraction. They don't really want to have a conversation. They're just there to distract you, to stop you from preaching. So be prepared for this. This is just a personal recommendation. As cars are coming in and out of the driveway, don't have a bunch of people going up to their window at the same time to bombard them. Have a designated person to go on one side of the car or the other, depending on which way. This way, like if a bunch of people are coming at the car at once, they might feel like, hey, what's going on? Are these people like mobbing my car? Just something to think about. We've had, guns pulled on us and stuff before. People felt threatened. Have a set person who will speak to the police. Have somebody, as I said, I have a packet with information. I recommend if you go that you check it out. But have somebody designated to talk to the police who knows how to interact with them, who maybe already has a relationship with them. You don't need everybody talking to them at the same time. So I don't know the laws here in Utah, but in Arizona, if you haven't committed a crime, you don't need to give them your ID. And I'll tell you why this is important. There's a brother named Stephen who continually gave the police his name when they came and heard a complaint, even though he wasn't breaking the law, there was just a complaint. So every time they took his name and they put it in their system, and then finally he did get arrested for disturbing the peace, and because he had helped them build a case in the past, well, it looked much worse for him in court because they had seen, well, we've spoken with you about 7 times leading up to this. That looks a lot worse for you. So what I'm trying to say is don't incriminate yourself if you haven't broken the law. Ask the police officer, have I broken any laws? What will happen if I continue preaching? What will happen? Are you going to arrest me? Will I be arrested? I know Utah may be different. You might have to give them your ID. I don't know. Something to look into locally. And don't be afraid to ask for help. I know there's some men in this room who've been involved in this ministry for a while. Ask them for help. When I first went to the mill, I showed up and Zach Conover was there and some people who've been involved even longer than him, and I just shadowed them the whole time, and I learned so much from them, and I continued to learn a lot from them. And then when they said, hey, you probably shouldn't do this, I didn't get prideful about it. I listened to them because of their experience and their knowledge. And as I said, if you're involved already, you're already signed up and have the approval of your church, I can give you some documents. I can email those to you, and you can use those for resources. They speak on different situations. I didn't put those together. They're put together by people who have been doing this a long time. I think Patty Smith is one of the people who put things together. So consider this. Our teaching is coming to an end now, and I'll open it up for questions. But every 60 seconds, 2 children die, as I told you. How many have died since we began this teaching? What are you going to do about it? If what we're doing out there isn't loving, then I don't know what is.
60 million murdered in our country, that's a scary count. Booms become a death camp, trash can, a burial. American Holocaust, more than all the soldiers lost in every single war. It's an era marked in gold. The innocent